Due to a lapse in good judgment, I decided to try the drug-free approach for the birth of my third child. As I arrived at the birthing center for my hypnobirthing training, I quickly understood that I would not be like most of the expectant women in the class. For one thing, I shaved my legs. Well, at least for my husband's birthday and our anniversary as a courtesy. For another thing, I immunized my children, and I stopped breastfeeding them well before junior high. Also, eating gluten or genetically enhanced chicken that's more hormone than meat doesn't scare me. That stopped bothering me years ago when Mom told me that my chest was going to get too big from all the hormones injected in chicken breasts. She somehow thought that being popular was a bad thing. What she should have said was that the bigger your chest is before children, the more it will look like 2 long socks with sand in the toes after. Then maybe I would have started eating hormone-free chicken. The main thing that set me apart from the group, however, was my severe aversion to eating placenta, or for that matter, anything else that my body willingly dispels. I knew better than to bring my less than nurturing husband to class with me. On video during our second child's birth, there's a shot of him asleep on the floor while I'm gripping the side rails of the hospital bed with sweat dripping down my forehead during a massive contraction. Instead, I opted to bring my mother. She, although as equally unnurturing as my husband, at least where pain is concerned, has given birth naturally, 10 times, I might add. When Mom and I arrived at the birthing center for our first class, we were greeted by 7 mommies-to-be. After which point, each of the women, all on their first pregnancies, took turns telling each other what to expect during childbirth. And how they knew it would be pain-free. My mom laughed out loud until she received a glare from the instructor. "Oh my gosh, you're serious." "Sorry," was all she said. The girl next to me turned to me. "What's your birth range, Kate?" "What's that?" I asked her. Everyone in the room gasped. "Kate," the girl said somewhat condescendingly, "we don't use the term due date. We believe that a baby is born in its own time, even if that's a month later than planned. We don't put a limit on baby by telling it when it should come." My face couldn't hide my amusement. "An 11-month pregnancy, how fantastic!" I looked at her with a matter-of-fact expression on my face. "My baby is coming on May 24th. I plan to be induced a week before my due date." Just then, the instructor's voice chimed in. "We will discuss the harmful effects of induction in our next class." I turned to my mom. "I hope that's the same class where we also discuss the harmful effects of birthing a 14-pound toddler instead of a 7-pound baby." Somehow, I coerced my husband into attending the next class with me. For this class, we would be discussing birthing positions. We were told that it was very natural for someone to give birth on all 4s, just like animals do. Well, if it's good enough for the majestic warthog, then by all means, it's good enough for me. This was also the class where we had to imagine that our cervix was a flower, while breathing love down to our baby. It was the last class my husband attended. Shortly after that, my birth range arrived, and it was time for my silent, pain-free birth. I had been instructed to sit back, relax, and let my baby do all the work. Which was great because I'd had a pretty busy day. I couldn't wait for my baby to stroll down my birth path and out my flower. Well, as it turns out, I had the laziest baby in the whole world. I think he chose to nap in the birth path and right in the middle of my flower, which incidentally decided to trap him there. I, on the other hand, screamed, cussed, passed out, went into shock, and felt every single bit of the worst pain I have ever felt in my entire life. And yes, on all fours. My first clue that hypnobirthing wouldn't work for me should have been realizing that there isn't a flower on earth that a melon can be pushed through. I did learn something from the whole experience, though. I finally understand what a 10 is on the pain charts that they keep in hospitals. You know, the ones that show the smiley faces that slowly progress to the frowny faces. However, they could be more accurate as far as the 10 is concerned. It's good that it shows tears streaming down its little smiley cheeks, frowny cheeks, but I think they should add to it. The 10 should be given a dream bubble showing how it wishes to be an 11. The 11 is smiling because it now has X's for eyes. Later, as I held my baby and kissed him on the head, I realized something. It doesn't matter how a baby comes into this world. Drugs, naturally, vaginally, C-section, adoption, or whatever else. A bond isn't created by the method we choose. A bond, rather, is the only natural thing that a mother can truly count on.